Hello and welcome back on board. Today is day 4 and we're going to do a traditional IFR flight all the way to San Jose Del Cabo. Taking off from Tucson where we landed last time, and we're going to do a SID VOR departure. So we're not going to use any GPS during this flight. The weather looked pretty good all the way along to the destination. And however, we're going to pretend we are fully IMC today. So let's do the intro and meet you back in the airplane.
519, wind 220, gusting 19, clear takeoff, runway 24 right.
Clear takeoff 24 right, quarter 519.
Flag signal 127 here, identify
There you go, we are back at the airplane at Tucson, and going to review quickly a little bit the Tucson 9 departure. It's going to be the only traditional departure using VOR. I was looking a little bit around some information. So already in this plate here, what we can see is a takeoff minimum. So we talk about visibility and ceiling, 302. But you talk also about 230 feet per nautical miles up to 3,000 feet. So I have this fancy table here which help me to convert feet per nautical miles to feet per minute. For the climb, I had two speeds. I have VY and VX. VX is, I believe, 100 knots, and VY is 124 knots. What we can use maybe reference 120 knots. So if we use VY at 124, we can even round it down a little bit to be on the safe side. We can use 120. 120 give us 460 feet per minute. And if we look now on the POH climb performance, we can see we are like somewhere between 2,400 feet to 2,200 feet per minute. So on this side, we are safe. We met the requirement. So when we reach 3,000 feet, we technically don't need to maintain 230 feet per nautical miles, but we need to climb pretty high to Tucson. So first we're going to do a right turn on 172 degrees to intercept the radial 198. So now is where it's getting a little bit confusing because I'm looking at three different charts here. I have one for flight, the other one is flight simulator charts, who's supposed to be the real one, and it's pretty close. And they all have kind of different information about the same area. So if I'm looking at Sky Vector here, they're saying if I on a Victor 393, I believe I need to be at 9,000 feet to be able to clear the obstacle. But it doesn't say how far I can go, and I'm assuming it's going to be between 8 and 9 nautical miles based on OBC with like 11 nautical miles. I don't know, just a rough idea. But soon I'm on a 163. I can be at 9,000 feet, but I have to climb here at 11,500. Now, if I'm looking at the MSA on the chart, is 10,600 feet. So it's depending where you are. So the 10,600 feet is in general around this circle, but depending where you are exactly, the altitude will be different. So let's review a little bit and make a little bit more sense on all this altitude. So the initial climb after takeoff is 460 feet a minute until 3,000. At that point, we do a right turn and we go direct to the VOR. When we reach the VOR, we're going to turn on the Victor 393, and at that point, the minimum safe altitude will be 9,000. However, the sector altitude it doesn't really show the distance, but it's between 8 and 9 nautical miles. So we have 8 and 9 nautical miles to climb to 10,600 feet with the MSA, will give us a minimum safe altitude of 10,600 feet. But the MSA is only protecting us up to 25 nautical miles. And when we get 25 nautical miles, we need to be at 11,500 feet minimum, which is our minimum safe altitude. So let's see in the aircraft now how the setup look like. So I have a nav1 with 2 frequency and nav2 with 2 frequency. I'm going to set up nav1 and nav2 with the both same frequencies. So the active one is going to be the Tucson VOR, and on the standby is going to be the backup for the ILS 12. And on the NAV2 frequencies, I'm going to have exactly the same. So NAV2 is going to be the backup in case I lose NAV1. So the setup is very simple. I had here the VOR1 active with the 192 setup on the radio. So the procedure will be very simple. Take off at 3,000 feet, turn on 172 heading, and when I have the little bar who is offset right now, is going to be centered. That means I will be on track and I will be able to go straight to the VOR. My heading is set up, my altitude is set up, and yeah, I'm good to go. Tucson traffic, this is Victor Alpha Whiskey. Park on General Aviation, Cochise ramp. I'm going to taxi down to Delta, all the way down to Delta 4 for departure, runway 04. Tucson Tower, Victor Alpha Whiskey, lineup 04, IFR departure, left turn direct Tucson VOR. So I don't know, guys, if you saw what really happened. So I turned on a heading, I followed procedures, but actually never reached the radial 192. So I keep flying, and all of a sudden I passed over the VOR, and I was of course below the minimum self altitude, and so I have to turn directly on course on the 193 Victor 393 correction. And there you go. So I don't know if you saw it. If you saw it, put a like, and don't forget to put a comment too. Like if you have any questions, see stuff you see, put a comment down below. If you have any ideas of stuff you want to see, if you want me to make a special video about VOR and how that works and stuff like that, don't be afraid to leave a comment below. And mostly don't forget to put a like and subscribe. So as you can see, I did not connect the autopilot on the VOR, did not activate the nav mode of the autopilot. I'm using only the heading mode. So that is give me a little bit more work because now I have to correct of my heading, and to make sure my plane remain on track, I have to correct my heading. Left or right, also the wind is pushing me, and I have to correct for that. So it's just a little bit more work, but it's get a little bit more, I guess, traditional, make you working on tracking VOR. So là j'ai 41 nautical miles between these both points. So halfway through, so about 20 nautical miles, I'm going to switch to VOR2. Correct my heading a little bit. So I have like crosswind from the right, getting stronger and stronger. So that is why it's hard for me to correct for my heading, but it's coming slowly anyway. Okay, 19.2, 19.3. Okay, 20,000. I can do that too. So 1,000 feet to go. 2,992. Mr. Things 2,992. And I'll switch to VOR2 now. VOR2 there. So now I'm at VOR2, I'm going to get ready for my VOR1. Next VOR. So that is 14. We're going to continue on 12.8. Okay, transfer. So come one is on 12.8, and I think the heading is getting 355. Course 355. So I'm losing that. I'm using this heading, but I'm putting the tail on this one to match. So now I can go back on VOR2. That is our next course. DME is based on if I do this one, I do transfer. Okay. So only VOR1 has DMEs. Okay, good to know. Damn it, I've screwed it up. 75. So commenting a little bit here on why I screwed up is, I don't know if you noticed, but when I passed Oscar Lima Sierra VOR, I changed my VOR track, but I did not change my heading. As you know, this is small little things when you fly with GPS, the track is automatically set up. So you just set up your heading and you're good to go. But here, because I set up my VOR unconsciously, it's like I was setting up my heading, so I didn't really think much, and after I realized I was like way off track. So here I lost my viewer. Let's try to see if we can catch viewer 2. Still don't get it. So usually you have two altitude here. Write it down. One is the Mocha and the other one is the, I forgot what it's called. It's been so long. Technically, as one is telling you what's the minimum self altitude at which you can fly, and the other one is the minimum altitude as you can receive the frequency, receive your viewer. Here I have only one. I'm suspecting is the minimum self altitude. On the Canadian chart also you have at one point it's telling you when you're transitioning from one viewer to the other. I'm going to stay on 12.8 until I catch this viewer. And yeah, I'm a little bit on a blind spot here. It's kind of weird though. Can do though is so here what I was trying to do is I lost the VOR. VOR is work with a line of sight. That means if there's a mountain between the VOR station on the ground and the airplane or a building or anything, the radio wave will not go through. However, NDB doesn't work the same way. The frequency go way higher in the sky, bounce back in the atmosphere toward the ground, and that is why you can use NDB on a very long distance. So I was looking for an NDB, and usually you always have NDB not very far of a VOR, but in this region I could not find a single one. VOR 2, there you go, I got it. It's back. Not too far off my heading. It's actually pretty good. DME, I'm off 12.8, so the 67 33 about 33 nautical miles. Change to 1201 on this one. So I never heard the idents of any of them, and I'm not sure how they work. So we're getting closer. What I can do is I can change that to like a 6.5. That's going to be our next one. So as I'm getting closer, the needle is getting more and more sensitive. So if I will have the autopilot connected to the navigation, to the VOR, the autopilot will keep chasing this bar all the time, and it will be like keep doing some turn left and right to maintain it. So now I lost the VOR, that means I'm right over it. So now it's time to change the track, and now my VOR is back. That means I'm past the top and I'm on outbound now. And we can see I'm on outbound because if you look right at the tail of the airplane, I have a little arrow telling me the VOR is behind me. Time to change to VOR2. So the next heading is 180 degrees. That means I'm passing on the even side from 369 degrees up to 179 degrees, if I'm correct. We're flying on the odd side altitude, like here, 21,000 feet. But because I'm passing from 179, so from 179 degrees up to 359 is going to be on the even side. So I have to climb flight level 220. So yeah, I'm passing the Gulf Yankee Mike VOR. So I'm on the outbound of 180. So the lake here is 121 nautical miles to Loreto, Lima Tango Oscar. So I'm setting up the VOR number 2 for when we get about 60 nautical miles, about halfway through. We're going to switch to Lima Tango Oscar, and we're going to be on the outbound track of 002. Okay, let's see for part 2. It's going to have a little change. On the pre-brief, we are talking more about going directly to San Jose. In this route, we're going to go more straight, and the challenge will be we're going to have to do a turn between two VOR. And going to have also the challenge, but that is part 2. So don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment. I want to hear about you, what you think about the video, stuff I can improve, I can change. If you have any question and stuff you want to see in next video, so don't forget to put a comment below. I will not know if you don't leave it there. And see you in part 2.